Hi guys, welcome to Top Table Gaming, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the next models or sets you should add to your collection if you just bought the Battle of the Pelennor Fields set. Welcome guys, you're here with your host Top Table Ben, and as I said in the intro, I'm going to talk you through the next additions you should make to add to the good side of the Pelennor Fields Box Set, to help you make full armies that comply with match play rules. I've already covered off the evil side in my previous video, so if you've missed out on that one, why not go and check it out? So we all know that the Pelennor Fields Box Set is an outstanding bargain for the money, as it includes the full rulebook, a quick start guide for some simple scenarios, and a ton of models. But once you've built and painted it all, I'm sure you'll be itching to bulk out your armies with so many options out there. It might be easy to get overwhelmed if you're new to the game. For the good side, you'll be left with two very good options for ways to build your armies. Although this isn't a definitive list of what you should buy or try and pick up, it will give you some ideas of what will work well with the army you've already got. You are of course going to need the profiles and rules for these models first and foremost. And for the ones I'm including in this video, you're going to need both the armies of the Lord of the Rings and the Gondor war books. First up, we're going to flesh out the Army of the Dead, and they're of course going to need a leader in the form of the King of the Dead, and heralds, which are a superb plastic kit. By adding the King of the Dead and the heralds to the 20 warriors of the dead that come in the Pelennor Fields kit, you'll have just shy of 500 points, which is a great place to start playing. King of the Dead is a pretty formidable hero, and has several special rules that really make him stand out from other heroes that are available to other armies. Much like the Warriors of the Dead, he has access to Blades of the Dead, which wound against his opponent's courage rather than the defence. And his drained soul power means that if any model suffers even a single wound from the King of the Dead, they are automatically slain. This makes him particularly deadly against multi-wound heroes or models. By including a herald in the army, helps somewhat negate the king's one big downside, which is lack of might, as the king can use the herald's 3 will points to call heroic actions as though they were his own might points. Next to dead, I would look to add a banner. In friendly games, you can always potentially use your spare herald as a banner, but for competitive matchups, you're either going to need the official model or do a suitable conversion. The banner will be beneficial to your relatively low number army, as it will help win combats more frequently. Plus, you'll be awarded victory points in certain scenarios. Last but not least, I'd add around 3 Riders of the Dead to your army. These will give your army of the dead some much needed mobility for objective grabbing, something that they do tend to lack. By playing a pure Army of the Dead list, you gain some advantages from the Dead of the Harrow army bonus. The King of the Dead gains the Harbinger of the Evil special rule, which reduces the courage value of enemies within 12 inches by 1. Not only does this make it more difficult for your enemies to charge into your terrifying army, it also makes it easier for your army to wound your opponents. A list containing the King of the Dead, a herald, a banner, 20 Warriors of the Dead and 3 Riders comes to just under 600 points, which is a great starting point for this army. Next up, I would almost certainly add these 3 fan favourites, the 3 Hunters, to your collection. Not only are these beautiful models, and I mean these are absolutely stunning, they also synergise really well with the Army of the Dead, as you'll be able to play them as the Return of the King Legendary Legion from the Gondor War Book, or you can play on their own as the 3 Hunters, should you wish. If you decide to play them as the Legendary Legion, you must include Aragorn and the King of the Dead. So you're spending a lot of points on heroes, but you do get the benefits of gaining Andúril for free, and Aragorn acting as a banner for all spirit models in the army. A solid trade-off if you ask me. By including Aragorn, Legolas, King of the Dead, 20 Warriors and 3 Riders, you get a solid 750 point army, which although has low numbers does have some very good heroes. Now we've covered off those spooky boys in depth, let's take a look at the Rohan side of the Pelennor Fields box. Included in the box are Theoden, both foot and mounted, 12 Riders of the Rohan and 12 Rohirrim on foot. Whilst you could use the foot troops to bulk out your army, they're probably best reserved as dismounts for your Riders. To bolster your forces, you should start by adding an extra 6 Riders, taking your total up to 18. As Theoden is a hero of legend, he can theoretically lead 18 Riders. However, from a competitive perspective, this probably won't be the most effective, as you'd be needing some more might on the table to keep your army on the charge. The next hero I would add to your army to help with this is Durnhelm. Again, this is another superb plastic sculpt in a unique profile consisting of 2 individual profiles, Eowyn and Merry, added together, which is the first time we've seen this in SBG. Durnhelm brings a solid stat line along with plenty of might to the table, which will be useful in keeping your Riders of Rohan on the charge should you lose priority. something that should never be forgotten about. The next hero to consider adding to your force is Gambling. Gambling can act as a real linchpin for a Rohan army, allowing you to regain a point of might when he is equipped with the Royal Standard of Rohan. This can be incredibly valuable if all heroes can benefit from it in a turn, potentially gaining back 4 points of might from Theoden, Eowyn, Merry and Gambling himself. If you're including Gambling though, it's important that you're keeping him safe, as he really isn't a combat hero and losing the banner can be a real big loss to this army. By including Theoden, Dernhelm, Gambling and 14 riders in your army, you have a force of just under 500 points. To complete this army, I would add 3 mounted Rohan Royal Guard with throwing spears. They synergise really well with Theoden, who helps bump them up to 5/5. Add this to their bodyguard special rule. They are well equipped for not only taking on lower tier heroes, but also hanging around late game and for getting stuck in with terrifying models. By including Theoden, Dernhelm, Gambling, 17 riders and 3 Rohan Royal Guard in your army, you should have a force of just under 600 points to play with, which will be perfect for small introductory games of SBG. From there you can simply fill up your warbands or add some extra heroes to increase your points value. For some hints on my top choice of Rohan hero and why you should take them, you can always go back and watch my top 5 Rohan heroes video. The army above can be played with both the normal Rohan army bonus, +1 strength on a turn in which they charge, or as part of the Riders of Theoden Legendary Legion, which is an additional special rule called Death, which allows your heroes within 12 inches of Theoden once per game to call a heroic strike or combat, saving your precious might for doing some killing. As you have Gambling's banner, you can be quite reckless with your might, as the banner allows you to regain it all at the start of the next turn, so don't be afraid to use it. So that's it folks, what do you think of my choices for your next good purchases? And what do you think of my sample army lists? Is there anything else you'd add or change? And did you find this useful for helping bulk out a good Pelennor Fields army? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.